Hello everyone, welcome back. Okay, video number 3. It's still Thursday for me. As I said in the previous 2 videos, I'm just pinning down my backgrounds and then I can spend the time stitching those into position, and then the next videos, which will be next week, I can focus on the actual prompt of wallflowers. So snippet number 3. Now it is the French garden. So let me just move Champagne Garden out of the way and the wave of colour. So let's have a look in the box of tricks, my inspiration that I pulled together. So I've got these pieces, this tablecloth, this table runner, which is the pinks and the greens, the fresher green, not so much olive, a little bit of olive, but more green. I just picked this piece up. It was sitting in amongst all of my fabrics that I had with Rachel's fabrics. So I thought, well, that works. That gets that red in there. That's that snippet I threw in from the last video, the last video. That's the flowers that I thought might be possible to embroider, and then I've got some doily bits in here as well that I would like to do, and I've got a bit of a rose thing happening because I've got this fabric, that I've got a peacock. So if we do a bird, I'd love to see if this transfer will work, and some flowers. I haven't done that since I was a kid. And then I've got the Tilda pack. So heaps and heaps that I can use, and this is sort of one of my favorite colors, so I have a feeling I've got like way too much. How am I going to wrangle this into a snippet roll? This originally I was planning to do the table runner, which would give me more space. Then I changed my mind and I was going to do the snippet roll. So it's the table runner. Why did I change my mind? I was going around the garden. Would be nice, wouldn't it? Got my background fabric. I'm just thinking, guys, I had gone off the idea, but now that I've pinned together 2 snippet rolls, how am I going to present it? Do I want a table runner? So the other thing I found was this piece of fabric too. How big is that? I don't think I'm going to do a snippet roll. I think I need more space for this because it's sort of, I'm going to put the snippet roll aside, the bobbin. Let's have a look at this piece of linen. How big is it? So it's big too. That would make a beautiful wall hanging, wouldn't it? What if I work it on that? Oh my goodness, I'm changing my mind again. Where's my tape measure? How big is this? I guess if it's bigger, I can do more because I've got more space. So even though it's a lot of work, but you're using bigger elements. Where is my tape measure? Can't find my tape measure. Where's my ruler? Here it is. So in inches, 12 inches plus another 12. So it's about 24 inches wide. Goodness me, that's 60 centimeters. And the length of it, $30. 45. Oh, goodness me. See, it's at least 30, nearly 40 inches long. Would make an awesome wall hanging, wouldn't it? I'm just holding it up in front of me. Oh, goodness me. What have you done to me, Rachel and Sarah? So I'm going to need space if I'm going to do the peacock. That alone won't fit. I know you're all yelling at the screen going, just do that big one. Yeah, see, I can't even get him on there. So snippet is out. Sorry, guys. Snippet's out. And I'm thinking this big piece of linen, let's just check a needle going through it, because if it's a bit hard to stitch. Oh, it's beautiful. I'm thinking I need it on something too. It needs to be probably a little bit more substantial under my hands. So I'm going to need a backing fabric under it. Do I put it on a calico? I've got my piece here ready for the next video, which is the doily one. So let's just pop this calico underneath. How does that feel? It feels pretty good. So I need to tear myself a big piece of calico to go under this. I also, yeah, okay. Oh my goodness. It's going to be a lot of work in this. I did originally want to do a big piece, but I talked myself out of it because I thought this was massive. And I had thought of radiating it out from the garden, but I sort of felt like, I don't know, I like the idea, but I just couldn't see it in my head. I don't know why. I could see it, but I couldn't see the detail. You know, when you think of a project and then you start breaking it down into smaller components, how would you do this? How would you do that? This just didn't give me that vision. I don't know if it was the line that did it, that line. I don't know. But I could certainly chop it up and add it to this project. Yeah, so I've got so much of this tilde. Let's have a look at the tilde. What's in here? I didn't open it on day one because I thought, no, wait to see. Now, I don't know the name of this pack of fabric. Unless it pops up somewhere, but no. So what have we got here? Oh, look, some great little flowers to embroider. Any in the right position. That's not too bad. Okay, so there's like 4 of each print so far. Some spots, some stripes, some more, except a different colour palette. Okay, so a creamy little flower. Some of those might work really well on those snippet rolls. I might just pull that one out. Where's that champagne? Maybe he's got potential with him. So that pink might be a problem. We'll keep going. Maybe there's another colour in here. Like, as I said in the previous 2 videos, I haven't sat down with Marianne yet to work out her snippet roll. And she was thinking, oh, beautiful. When I think of Marianne and the clothes she wears and the style that she has colour-wise, this is what I think of. I'm wondering if I show her this pack on Friday night and see if she wants to play in amongst these more so than what she's thinking. I don't want to push her towards a direction, but it will be a subtle, look at that. I think that will blend well with this too. Okay, I think I need a bigger place to play. I think we're going to be doing a bigger piece. There you go. Here we go. Off on another tangent. My goodness me. At least I'll have space for my peacock. We'll be able to do him. Let's get Champagne out of the way. Okay, so I need to create a piece of fabric for the back of this. And then I can start piecing down some bits and pieces. So what I might do is I'm going to stop the video. I'm going to grab my calico and I'm going to rip myself a big piece to sit on the back of this top piece. And then we can go from there. Okay, so that's the plan. We're going to make a big version of my French garden. So I will pause the video and I will be back in a few minutes. Won't be a moment. I'm back now. What I've done is I've laid my big piece on top of a piece of calico. So that is really just to give myself some structure to my my feature piece on top. So I now need to work out what I'm going to do because I've changed my mind. So what I might do is with this really big piece, I'm not going to piece the whole background. It's just going to evolve. So I'm literally just going to pick a spot, any spot, and build up my background for just this particular prompt, the wildflowers. So let's start in this top corner. One thing I will need to do before I get too far into the project is invisible stitch this down so that it's got, it becomes one. So that in itself is going to be a major task. So what I might do is just do a little bit of that so that this top corner is secure. And then I can start working on my piece that'll go right here. And it's the wildflowers. So when it's a really big piece of fabric, break it down into quadrants, smaller areas. So let's just get some invisible stitch on for now. Just so the background becomes part of the top piece. So there you go. My original plan was to do a big piece, but I went off of the idea and now I'm back onto the idea, but it has changed and I'm actually a little bit more comfortable with this one, and I think it's the fabric that I'm using. It's such a beautiful piece of linen that I think it'll work up really well. And I'm going to take the pressure off myself with this one and see how I go, but it might end up that this runs for the 12 months, because once we have all of our prompts, there's nothing stopping me repeating some of those prompts in other locations as the year goes on. And maybe the girls will do another project with us, so this might be able to be joined in with that. I don't know. I just want to take the pressure off myself having to finish it within the time frame of the 6 months worth of prompts. It may happen anyway, because it's surprising how much work we got done in the previous ones, because we had you know, I can't talk and do things. I'm struggling today. It's probably because this is the 3rd video. Yeah, I'm surprised at just how much work we all got done. I think 2 weeks in between prompts is really good, because it just takes the pressure off you rushing. So I'm now just dropping down about 1 inch, and I'm doing the same thing. I'm just going to whip along there with this invisible stitch to hold the fabric in position. See, there's a day's work just getting this sorted. I have a few holidays coming up too and a little bit of travel, so there will be a lot of time where I'm sort of just sitting around and everyone's relaxing and watching movies, and I'll be sitting there tapping my thumbs going, what am I going to do? Well, I can take pieces like this and just pick a corner, pick a 2-inch square and do something on it. So I think it'll be all good. It will work out. Okay. This sort of reminds me of the Jessie Chorley panel I did, where I just focus on that, focus on that, focus on that, focus on that. And it actually, it worked out really well. It was so daunting at first when I pulled it out because it's the size of a tea towel, probably a bit bigger, with heaps of embroidery on it. But I was actually quite surprised at how quickly I did work my way around it. So we'll give it a go. What have we got to lose? I think I'm an inch down again. Yep. You see my, can see my line. No, you can't. There's one through there and one back up here. So I'm only halfway along the panel. Now, this will probably be enough to hold it for now. So we will finish this row. So I don't want to waste too much time on laborious. And then we need to have a look at some fabrics to build up our wildflowers and how we're going to do it, because I've completely changed my image in my head. So I think I'll start with the ground. We need a baseline. I've got some French labels too. I can see in that panel over there. Okay, nearly there. Okay, so I guess if a prompt comes up like a little house or something like that, I'll actually have quite a bit of space on here, so I could do a little house. Do I take that into consideration now and have a house here? And then start the garden from there. See, there's another thought. Do I make a house out of this tilde? Really work the garden path idea. I'm just looking at my pens over here, my fabric pens, and maybe we'd do a house. Oh goodness, guys, what fabric have we got in here that could make a good house? That would. Like the look of that for a roof. Well, this is not where I thought I would be going. I need some walls. That'd be cute. So let's pretend that that's going to be a little house, a little cottage. I won't be stitching it today, but I need to think about my composition a little bit. So let's sort of just have a play around with where this could go. I haven't considered a house yet on those other rolls. So I guess if I decide that this is going to happen, which I think it is. I'm just loving that. Like, don't look at the, the design. It's just really the space that I would use for a little house. So let's just pin that roughly at the moment. Who knows what the house will look like, but that's a start. That would get me a pretty big front door. Up in the top corner. And then we start working our garden path. So how big would the, do we want a small house? Well, we probably could. Probably doesn't really matter. I'm not going to restrict myself with proportions because I think I'll get myself into a pickle if I start worrying about the size of this versus the size of that. Let's take that stress away. Okay, so now I'm just going to think about laying down some fabric that can be used to build the wildflowers on. So then I could have a title page, a title too, couldn't I? We could stitch in down the garden path. Could go there. Look, let me come up a little bit. This is such a big piece of fabric. I think we need more of an aerial view. Sorry about that shadow. Let's say we stitch in a panel here that announces down the garden path. Let's pretend that that's a piece that I've embroidered. Some buttons to pin it there. Down the garden path. Project for another day. So we've got a header. Here's our house. And we could start then the first prompt here. And then down we go from there. And then we can then collage pieces of interest in around it all. Like, for example, this rose. I really, really want to work this rose into it. Yeah, I'm thinking that's going to actually come in over there. Yeah. I'm going to trim this down a little bit. I won't completely fussy cut it out in case I want to break it down even more and weave it in amongst the whole thing. I don't think so. I think it'll stay in its entirety. And maybe it can come up and in around that label. It'll say down the garden path. So let's just pin it there for now. And I like this. I like it. I'll hang on to that fabric because it's got that tone about it. I may end up using it elsewhere to make little bits and pieces, like maybe a door for the house or something like that. The house is not going to happen straight away. It's just there to give me my perspective of where, you know, I would be. Okay, so we're going to have the start of a garden through the center here, and this is framing it, the sign, the rose, and the house. And in here is all the mischief that is going to be the garden. So we need some fabrics to lay down for the base of the garden. What do we have? Not much in there. Okay, so I need to grab that bundle of fabrics that I used in the champagne garden. So bear with me as I find that. piece of wrong colour. That thing keeps popping up in so many projects. It's just never the right colour. So I'm looking for this brown. No. Well, I've headed off on a tangent and I'm not quite prepared for it actually. So I need to just quickly grab my little bundle, which is that, and see if there's something there. The other thing I had was this little piece of embroidery. It's the oddest colour and I really wanted to utilize it because I'll never ever embroider it, and I like the colour of it. But how would I utilize it? Do I cut in? Do I take that piece off? That might be quite interesting. I wonder if I could work that across as my base to the garden. Okay, I've got an idea. Let's cut this. I really need to cut away from all this stuff because I'm going to end up having a disaster. Let's have a look at it now where I can, and I feel like I need to make myself a line, otherwise I might cut it through here. I think I'm going to need it pretty much there, but I'll cut it through here, and I can always trim it back, and it's going to be the base of my garden, I think. Oh boy, oh boy. This was so not where I thought I'd be going, and like I said in my first couple videos, that's what you're going to get with me. I'm just going to wing it and see where it leads me. I have a rough idea of a colour palette, and then the rest is see what happens. Now we might, those cut out edges, they are actually made to crochet. You would do a little crocheting edge onto that, and it gives you something to, you know, attach to. I'm just going to cut through there. It's such an unusual doily colour. I've never seen this colour. I love that little piece there. Let's take it off. It's pins. So I might just do that. I'm going to add this to my panel. There'll be a snippet come off of that. Okay, so that can go away. We don't need to carry that with us now for the whole project. Let's have a look at our panel here. Let's see if this is a good idea or a silly idea. So we could make that disappear under there. That looks like a path, doesn't it? Oh, I like that. If that trims back there a little bit, but maybe aims for there. Let's rough cut this back a little bit, because I'll use those little grids to stitch it down. So I'm just going to fussy cut this out a fraction more. I wonder if that little piece that we took off the edge of the doily, I wonder if that could go on the door, you know, like a, just bend that back a little bit so I don't stab myself. We might work that into the little house somehow. Anyway, I'm getting sidetracked. So let's add that just in under there. And this will be the start of our path. The rose will come down. I think I'm going to take that away because this is enough to do something with. So that is gone. Yep. And I wonder if we can bring this in somewhere else to continue the path. Oh, yes, yes, yes. That's what we're going to do. Now we're cooking. Let's just trim this back a little bit. So I'm still working on my background, but in this scenario, I'm sort of trying to think more of a grand picture. How am I going to place everything on here to create the story? Where those snippet rolls, I sort of don't have too much space. I can still, you know, work something through, but this is a bigger sort of surface to work with. So I think that coming in there, let's pin it. Oh, I'm happy with this. I love it, love it, love it. Our rose can probably tilt. You know, the other thing I like is this red border is actually bringing my piece in smaller than what I probably thought I had. So I'm really digging that idea too. So the rose can be stitched there. I've got more path to carry on wherever we meander. And if I have a look at these pieces, there's more path. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Oh, love it. And the little piece has path on it as well. So they are going to be my bricks. Oh, you just can't plan this until you sit down and start playing with your fabrics. You just cannot plan it. Okay. So I feel like I'm framing my piece. Does that make sense? Yeah. So this is where my wildflowers are going to come up out of. So what am I going to do next? I think I need to lay down fabrics to stitch into. So what will I use? I do like this. It's so coarse. Might be hard to get a nice decorative embroidery. Do I want to make my embroidery bolder and more chunky? I don't know. I don't know. See, I've got this piece. Maybe everything's got to be a bit bigger. Maybe I've got to think bigger. Just looking at all my fabrics that I quickly grabbed out just then to do something with, and they're all very pale. I sort of feel like they don't quite they're whites. I want to keep this dirtier. I'm going to put them away. So I need something that's a little bit more earthy. I'm just glancing around my room at what I've got. I wonder if I've got some camphor quilt. Hold that thought. Whoops. I've just spotted my container that has some morsels of camphor quilt in it. Whether I've got a colour that suits those tones. What's in this pack? So they're all blues. No, too fresh. Projects around. Oh, I've spotted something. Oh, I've spotted something. I've got an old quilt here. Look at this. Whoops. Look at that. Okay, let's have a little rummage through here. Now, I got these pieces from Lisa Mattock. So what have we got? Anything that might suit. See, they're very pinks, aren't they? No. That's got potential. I'll have a look at it. It might be too fresh. Does that make sense? Yeah, no. No, they're no good. What else is in here? That's very red. I sort of like that. That one's a bit Japanese. I don't want to bring blue in, and they're very wrong. Oops, sorry guys. I don't know if I found a solution here. What's underneath this? Oh, hello. There's 3 different layers in there. I wonder if I could use a piece of this and then maybe we pull out these bits behind. Whoever made this quilt has laid a blanket in there, plus then this flannelly fabric. I don't mind this. It sort of picks up. And I like how that little stripe is there. I'm going to separate this blue. And I'm going to, do I grab that red? I like this piece in its entirety with that pop of red on it. Like that there would make a beautiful background to something. And to take that stripe out is probably a little bit not necessary. I might leave it in there because that to me looks like a background that could become something someday. I do like this. Let's pull this piece to bits. Okay, gosh, never have thought I'd be going in this direction. So what have we got here? So whoever made it has need a quick unpick. How are we going for time? Does it matter? We just keep going. What else are we going to do today? Should go and do some housework. I don't want to destroy the fabric. I can't see my quick unpick. There it is. I got it. Let's just pull this apart. And I think these 3 pieces of fabric are going to be my patches, my pops of something. And I like the fact that they're all different in texture. One's a flannel, one's a woolen blanket, and the other one is a cotton. The colours match. I get a little stripe in amongst it, which can give me that edge to the garden. So bear with me guys, sorry, I'm gonna take a moment and separate this. Gosh, when I started this video I was making another snippet roll. I keep saying it's a snippet roll, it's not really. Embroidery on a bobbin, Now, I do have so many fabrics put aside here that I just want to touch and use. So I might even do some random pages for the journals that we've done previously, because I've got some blank spots here and there in amongst them. So I'm not going to rule out there'll be the odd page where the girls might give us a prompt and I go and do it and add it to a panel, a page in the volume 1 and 2. Well, not 2 because that was Christmas, but volume 1 I did 2 journals. And I've got probably about 4, maybe 5 pages free for stitcheries. I'm going to leave that red in there because I like the look of it. Okay. Nearly there. Okay. Let's have a look at this piece. This is the one that I'm really interested in at the moment. Cutting it down to a piece like so. Yeah. Yes, yes, yes. So let's just take a piece for now out of there. How long do I want it? Oh, I don't know. Just guess. Let's just do it at that. So that's the start of my garden, my base. Now these pieces, I'm thinking are going to just be randomly around the place. In some fashion. I don't know. I'm just layering it up and seeing what comes of it. Where's the other one? Just trying to make it look interesting. I feel like that could go there. That's a good start. And now I've got these little pieces that we can work with. Maybe that goes in there. That's probably enough of them. Now let's have a look at this guy. Does he fit? Not really. See, it's amazing colour, isn't it? It's sort of, yeah, he's not quite right. I'm going to put him away. Now I wonder if there's some lace or what's this? A bit of tatting. See, wrong colour. What else have we got? Too bright. I sort of need more of a creamy, dirty. Maybe we look at a pop of colour in there, like a stripe or something. No, I'll leave that for the house. I think I can do more with that on that house, so we'll leave it at that. What about that piece? No. Do we bring in some of the French fabric? What have we got in this piece? Let's have a bit of a look at that and see if anything grabs our attention. There's the bottom corner. That's the fold. That's the... So how would we use it? We'd probably just pop bits of it around, I think. Like that rose. Let's nibble off that rose. So let's just cut it through there. This is sort of nearly part of the background. So how would we use it? Do we just place some random pieces? You know what I should have a look for in my cupboard is, what's that fabric that it's got a special name, and it has ladies sitting in a garden with a gentleman bending the knee in front of them. What do they call that? I should have a bit of a dig around and see if I can find some of those types of pieces. I'm just going to pin that there. I don't know where it'll go yet, but I just sort of feel like it needs to be there to remind me. Let me just fold this up. I'm going to put this away then, because I don't need to have that in my box of tricks. It's just going to take up too much space. See the word cologne? That piece there would be nice to any near the edge. I'll leave it for now. So that can go back. Now, what else did I have? I've got this satin. That's going to be part of the flowers, just little morsels to sort of stitch with. I have this flower. Maybe I should find a home for you, because you are quite a big piece. So there's a bird in there. What exactly do we have here? And I did pull that one out. You sort of got to look past the background fabric. I don't think that works with it as much. I think that's too purple. It's not purple, but you know what I mean. I better pin this. For goodness sakes, Corrine, take a moment and pin down some backgrounds. And these are just backgrounds at this stage. There'll be lace and stitches and bits and pieces added to it, I can guarantee. But it's just getting that base down. Okay, that's all attached. Now I need to put that somewhere safe, because it's going to be somewhere on my panel. Now, this flower, I feel like I could bring in a flower under here somehow. If that went into there. How far over the edge do I go? I'm thinking that there, like that. That'd be very pretty. Okay, I'm going to cut around this. And it's going to go to the side of the house. Whoops, nearly took that flower there out. It's going to go to the side of the house to be embroidered at a later date. I just want to get him in there so that he's part of my background, if that makes sense. Oops, oh, I'm so sorry. Swinging me mitts around here. I think we're getting a good start on this guy. And that will tuck in here. And then I can embroider that. I've got plenty of space where I can do little prompts and, you know, bits and pieces, but I do need to start considering where everything sort of sits. And that's a pretty good start, I think. There we go. So what I will do, see, I've also got this fabric. Let's have a look at this before I go. I've got my head around what I have in the pack. Oh, security thingy. This is pretty. Oh yeah, I love this. It's really heavy too. It's quite a patchworky piece, isn't it? Roses, keys. It's not French, right? Okay. Well, I think this can certainly pop in somewhere. I wonder. It's not exactly wildflowers, is it? I'm going to take a morsel of it out. I'm just looking at this bottom corner. And I'm just going to cut that rose out. I can hear my phone buzzing. Like I said earlier, it's only Thursday, so you're probably watching this Monday probably. And I sent Marianne the 2 videos to watch from the girls, and I can hear my phone buzzing. She has watched them and she's just like probably brimming with ideas. There's 5 messages from her. I won't read them. I hope she's not backing out. I hope she's like, wow, let's go. And not starting to wriggle out on me. I don't need that plastic. Okay. So I'm just grabbing this bit out here. I don't know where I'll use it, but I sort of feel like it fits and needs to be considered in my background somehow. So I'm just going to pin that up in the top corner as well. And that way I can look at it and think about it. So that's pinned there. All right. I think we've got a plan. I need to invisible stitch these basic pieces down. I'm going to leave a fair bit of air around my piece because that allows me to do additional stitches, or like Rachel said, mark making, bits of lace. You know, you just never know what random, you know, bits will pop up somewhere. Who knows? But we've got wriggle room. I know I want to include that. I know I want to embroider some roses over here. We'll do some flowers. We get a chance to do some form of title here, which will be a lot of fun. I'll have a house. I've got a path. I can't believe how this has come together. You could not have planned it better, Corrine. That's why it pays sometimes not to plan too much. Just work on your colours and group fabrics together that sort of look really cool. All right, I'm going to leave it at that because I'd be pretty close to the hour. And I will see you in the next video, which will be all about the doilies. All right, guys, bye for now. Guys, I'm back. Once again, started tidying up and realised I hadn't addressed this piece. So I've just done it. I've chopped it off. I've pinched that rose out. I'm now putting that fabric away because I don't need it in my box of tricks. I'm going to put this one away too because it's just stuff. I will keep those out because I want to show Marianne those. I think that might be something that catches her eye. But what I did want to do is just rough cut out this big boy and have him ready to work into my piece. I might do it, I'll do it square for now, just in case I don't want to fussy cut it. The other thing it's going to do is give me some fabric that I can use to build backgrounds. So I definitely want this piece out and pinned somewhere. Got plenty of space. So I'm just going to pin him to the top corner there, so he's part of the project. And now I have some more fabric here that I might be able to actually work into this ground here, just to make it a little bit more interesting. Who knows? But I'll just pin that little bit there, just so I know it's in the position. And of course my peacock. So I've certainly got a few elements here that I think this piece will actually come together quite easily, because everything is big and chunky in this one. All right, guys, that's it. I will see you in the next video. That's number 3 project underway. Number 4's next. See you soon. Bye.